Hi, I'm Sarah-Jayne. I'm a skipper and Chief of Marketing at Find a Sail.
And I'm Patrik. I'm a sailing instructor and founder of Find a Sail.
When it comes to learning to sail, what is the best way forward? Do you join a crew or do you join a sailing course?
So it's actually a question we see being asked quite often on Facebook groups and forums. So we thought we would offer you our perspective. So should we start with safety?
Yeah.
It's probably the most important one. There's like 2 points. One of them is the skipper, the captain, and the second one is the boat.
One thing to consider is if you go on a crew, there may be some reviews or something about the captain, but you don't really know what to expect until you actually get on board with that captain. People say that they've had amazing experiences doing that, but we've also had friends of ours who said they've had absolutely terrible experiences.
And terrifying.
Exactly.
As well.
You don't know what situation might come up, and that captain's personality, that captain's way of approaching safety is actually going to be really vital in those moments. There can be this tendency of like a captain's ego almost, right?
100%. It is a big thing in sailing, right? And when it gets mixed with the water, it can be very dangerous. The sailing instructors that are actually certified to teach, somebody certified them because they could see how they handle situations under pressure. They could see how they handle the boat, how they handle the crew. Like they are professional mariners who on top of that also know how to teach. Yeah. I'm not saying that in a crew you can't have people like that, but if you're joining a sailing course, you are getting a skipper that's basically an expert at being safe.
Yeah, and then when you're talking about the boat as well, so if you're on a sailing course, those boats have really high regulations, they get checked regularly. The associations, for example, like the RYA or the ASA, they have strict protocol in place to make sure that those boats are safe. So the next bucket we want to talk about is learning.
So yeah, I think it's a little bit similar to the safety perspective. You can have a great learning experience with joining a crew. You might also not. If you join a crew, the agenda might be something else. It might be delivering the boat somewhere. It might be enjoying a Sunday afternoon. It might be winning a race. But it doesn't mean that somebody will be actively teaching you every step of the way. On a course, the time is focused and dedicated to you and to your learning. So that's my perspective.
I think the other thing is the captain themselves. There's one thing to be competent in something. There's another thing to teach it. The captain can be really skilled as a sailor, but in terms of actually delivering that information to you in a way that actually sinks in, that's like a teacher capacity that captain might not necessarily have.
I absolutely agree. The teaching skill set is not the same as the good sailor's skill set. The instructor will be able to convey the information in ways that you can actually digest and internalize and apply.
Actually, maybe I can tell you a little bit of a story of so me starting to sail was actually with you, right? I came on
as a crew.
Yeah, as a crew when you were sailing around Europe. And the first sail that we did was 4-day crossing across the Bay of Biscay. You know, the first few days, it was very calm, glassy water, everything was fine. On day 4, everything changed, right? It was like gale force 9.
Yeah, it was a bit hairy. It was a small boat as well, right? 8 meters. It was a bit hairy for sure.
I had never been on a course. I had never learned how to sail. I didn't feel like I was able to provide any assistance. Even if I'd have taken a competent crew course, I would have had a better idea and understanding of okay, what's going on in this situation and how can I best help? Even if it's just things like supporting the crew that's on deck, right? Like how can I be a support? Maybe I'm not competent enough to actually get out there and fight the storm, but there can be ways that I can support the crew.
And perspective of the captain, right? If you don't know that you can trust in the skills of your crew for that particular task, you don't send them there, right? But it means you're alone to deal with everything. So I didn't send you out to reef the sails or anything like that, because that wouldn't be the right call, because I never equipped you with that skill set, right? And it wouldn't be safe. Also, if you're scared, if you're frightened, you're not really learning anything, right? You're just panicking.
So the next thing we want to talk about is cost.
Cost-wise, what's cheaper? If you can join a crew where you don't have to contribute towards running of the boat and your only contribution is a case of beer, then joining a crew is definitely cheaper.
We hear sometimes people say, I'm not sure if I really want to invest in a sailing course because I've never tried sailing before, and maybe I'll get on the water and I'll find out that I really don't like it. Something that people are a little bit nervous about sometimes is like the small space, being with a lot of people in a very small space, and also just generally like, do I actually enjoy sailing, right? Like, and just trying it out.
And that is a valid point, right? If the motivation is just to try it out, then joining a crew is perfectly fine, I think, right? Just be mindful of the safety factor and choose well. That being said, if the motivation is to learn something for the reasons we already mentioned, right, you might actually not get a great learning experience, and you're investing a lot of your time as well. If you just want to try it, right, there are sailing courses out there that are weekend sailing courses, and they cost like £200. That's what, $250, something like that. Pretty cheap way to get out on the water with all the perks and benefits of being on a training boat with an instructor.
So it's almost like a case-by-case basis, but I think it's just judging, right, like what is best for you, and then making that assessment and deciding, okay, this is the best investment for me based on my intentions, right?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Verdict.
Should I join a course or should I join a crew if I want to learn to sail?
Course.
Yeah,
we say course.
Yeah, I say course as well. You'll get far more value out of your time on the water in terms of learning and building those foundations, so that then you can join the crew or join the delivery or join the race team to start building on those foundations. But if you don't build those foundations, it's hard to learn without the dedicated time.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And then, so when you're in a storm on the Biscay, you know what to do.
And I can rely on you. Perfect.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. If you have more questions, let us know as well, please.
You can comment below and let us know. We'd love to chat about it.
Yeah, and let us know how we did. This is our first time trying it out in this format, so we'll be happy for your feedback. Thank you so much, guys, and happy sailing.
Bye.